Hello and welcome. My name is Jennifer. I'm the Engagement Director at the Community Foundation of Northern Illinois, and I am pleased to be sharing with you details about updates and improvements to our online portal. Previously known as our Fund Advisor portal, the portal now has a lot more functionality for all different types of users associated with the Community Foundation. Today, we're going to be focusing on the functionality for our fund advisors. And so to begin your navigation to the portal, we're going to head to the Community Foundation's website at cfnil.org. There are a couple of ways that you can access the portal from here. You can click login links here at the top of the page, and then Fund Advisor Login here. Or you may click under Resources for CFNIL Fund Advisors, and you'll see a similar button down here. Either way, when you click one of those buttons, it's going to take you to the portal login page, which looks like this. You'll see our friendly office dog, Beezus, here welcoming you to the new portal. If you already have been using the Fund Advisor portal, you may continue to use your username and password as you have in the past. Typically, your username is your email address. Mine is different since I'm a staff member, but regardless, you'll enter your username and password here and click log in. If this is your first time using the portal, you can click log in with email, enter your email address and click log in, and follow the steps that follow. The email address must be the primary address associated with the profile in our system for you to receive a PIN and log in. If you believe that you should be able to access the portal and it's just not working for you, you can contact my colleague Sierra. Her email address and phone number are right here on the left side of the screen. Hopefully it will work for you and you'll get that PIN and you'll be able to log in. But for me, I'm going to enter my username and my password and log in. Because I'm a staff member, I have two-factor authentication set up, so it takes me an extra step here. Make sure it's extra secure. But once I log in, you will see the landing page for the fund management section. Up at the top, you'll see buttons that allow you to navigate to different sections of the portal. Again, today we're only going to focus on the My Funds or the fund management section. And here on this part of the screen, you'll see all of the funds to which you will have access. Currently, my profile is connected to 3 funds, and you'll see all 3 here. If you only have one fund, you'll go right to that fund summary. But if you have more than one, you can choose the one you wish to go to. We're going to be taking a look at the Shrek and Fiona Swamp Preservation Fund today. Obviously not a real fund. We're going to be doing a little playing in our portal today, so you get to check out what all the steps look like. So once you've selected the fund, you'll be here on a summary page. The summary page provides the date this fund was created, the current balance of the fund, the cumulative lifetime grants made from the fund, and the cumulative lifetime contributions made to this fund. You'll also see a staff contact here. The staff contact for this fund is Sierra, and here is her phone number and her email. Your staff contact may be different depending on the type of fund that you have with us, but you can always find that contact information right here so you know who to reach out to if you have questions. Below that, you'll see additional aggregate summaries about your fund, including aggregate grant amount. And you can hover over these charts to see a little more detail about that, and aggregate donation amounts. And you can see the 2 major donors to this fund are Sierra and myself. Sierra was very generous to the Swamp Preservation Fund. Thank you, Sierra. And these charts are populated based on a searchable date range. You can click on this date range and change it to anything you like. You'll note that these dates go back quite a long ways. They actually go back to 1999. And I will let you know that our data, we can only assure you that your data is complete and correct going back to July of 2015. So if your fund was created before 2015 and you need some reporting prior to that time, please reach out to us and we'd be happy to help you. But otherwise, you can select based on a very specific date range or a full year, a quarter, whatever you would like to see that summary, some more detail for your summaries. If we continue on the left side, the contributions page shows a summary of the contributions made to this fund, to the Shrek and Fiona Fund. And the first page of that is a basic list, a table of those donors, those donations. The columns are movable. If you click and drag a column, you can readjust the table how you would prefer that information to be portrayed. You can also click the small gray arrows in each column to sort it, ascending or descending. Once you have it looking the way you would like, you can export that data to a CSV file for your records or any other use that you would like. You can also click into the specific donation ID and see a little more information about it here. You can click on the contributor's name and see the full record of that person's or that organization's contributions to your fund. And you can filter if you have a huge amount of donations to your fund. You can filter based on a date range here as well. So you can do a lot of things to see just the data that you wish to look at. The pledges section will contain any information related to pledges made to CFNIL from this fund. The distributions tab shows a summary of all the grants made from this fund, distributions made from this fund. And there are some additional sections in here. There's the grant summary, which shows rolled up by grantee, all the grants that have been made. The grant history shows by specific grant number, all of the grants. Recurring grants shows any grants that are set up to recur. They can be set up on a monthly, quarterly, yearly basis. And the grant catalog, which is a section only available in the portal for our donor advised funds, you can make donations right from your fund to open grant catalog opportunities. Again, that's only for our donor advised fund holders. Continuing on here, I'm going to skip over grant request. We'll come back to that. The resources and documents section is where your fund statements will populate. Because this is a brand new fund, it hasn't existed for a whole quarter. I do not have any statements here, but I can, if I wish, make a manual statement. And you can too in your fund for any period that you would like. You can make it a monthly, quarterly, yearly, or a custom date range. So I'm going to go ahead and make a yearly statement for my fund. Click Create. And I think because this is my sandbox, this is a test site, it's not going to actually populate that for me. But if you were to do this in your fund, it's going to, it will pull up a fund statement based on the date range that you included. You can also click Files, and this is going to show various files associated with your fund. Going back prior to Q3 of 2024, this is where you would have found a digital version of the stewardship summary that accompanies your fund statements. Going forward, we have plans to include such documents as the fund agreement for your fund, grant check letters, and all sorts of other things, but will be here in files. But for now, you can see that what we call the statement accompaniment that includes the stewardship summary and the letter that accompanies your quarterly statements. And finally, at the very bottom of the list, if you click Donate, you will navigate to our Giving Hub and be able to make a donation directly to your fund or any other fund that can receive donations, existing funds at the Community Foundation of Northern Illinois that is open to receive donations. You can search by alpha here and find various funds that are open here. You can scroll down and click Show Additional Funds to see a full list of those. And this is how you can make a donation via secure donation via credit card to any of those funds. If you'd like to get back to the portal, just click Login here at the top. So for our donor advised fund holders, you have one additional navigation available to you, and that is here, the Grant Request tab. And this allows you to see grants that you have recommended from your donor advised fund. And here on the summary page of that, you'll see those that have already been approved and some that are in process. One here, right here, is been put into process but has yet to be approved. If you're ready to create a new grant request, you can click this button right here. I'll also point out that there are very detailed instructions about how to work through the grant recommendation process here right on this page, but we're going to go ahead and click grant request. If you know that you would like to make a grant to an organization that you've already granted to in the past, you can click here. It will provide you, by clicking in this little blank area, a list of all the organizations to which you have made grants in the past. Or you can search all of the community foundation funds and choose to make a gift to one of those funds, recommend a grant to one of those funds from your fund. But we're going to go ahead and choose, actually, I changed my mind. I would like to grant to someone who I've never granted to before. So I'm going to go back to choose type and click search grantee. When you search here, let's see, we're going to search for the Rockford Rescue Mission. And you don't need to enter all of the data. You can just put in the name as best you know it. The system will first search within the Community Foundation of Northern Illinois database to see if that grantee already exists in their system. And as you might imagine, they do. So I could click create request right here and keep moving forward with my request if this name and information matches who I want to give the grant to. If it doesn't appear here, or something appears but it's not exactly what I was looking for, I can click candid results. And that searches a national database of nonprofits and pulls up a whole lot more related organizations. So we'll see Rockford Rescue Mission Ministries, again, appears right here at the top. So I could click create request here. And there are lots of other options that may be similar to the search that's already in our system. So you can select one of those. If none of those pull up the grantee that you were looking for, you can go back to the choose type and enter manual grantee, but we ask that this be a last resort. It is not ideal to have to enter one manually, as we then will go through additional steps, as we always do, to ensure that the grantee is indeed one that can receive a charitable contribution, a charitable grant from us. But ideally, almost certainly, every eligible grantee will appear through one of these methods. So I am looking to make a grant to an organization I've never granted to before. So I'll click search grantee and type in Boone County Conservation, and we'll just see what comes up. Aha, Boone County Conservation District does already exist in the Community Foundation's system, and that is the correct organization to which I'd like to make the request. Once I click create request, the form automatically populates the name of the grantee and the address, and occasionally there'll be other information that pre-populates based on what CFNIL already has in their system. If you believe the contact name is to which the check should be sent, the check and the check letter should be sent, is someone other than the primary contact, usually the executive director for the organization, you can enter that here if you wish. If the grant is for a specific purpose or program, something other than just general operating, you can include a description here. And I'm going to put Swamp Preservation Program. The amount is entered here. If you would like your grant to be anonymous, you may click here. If you'd like to set up the grant to be recurring, you may click here and enter the rest of this information, such as the interval, when you would like it to start, how many times you'd like it to recur, or if it should just be open-ended, it should continue to give to this cause and this organization forever. If there are any documents that you'd like to attach to provide additional background about this grant recommendation, you can choose them and upload them here. Please do provide a description so we know what the attachment is and what we should know about it. And if there's any notes that you'd like to include, something that wasn't covered in another part of this form, you can enter them in the grant recommendation notes. And we'll click Add to Cart. You will see that your grant request cart preview shows up down here. If at this point this is the only grant you wish to recommend, you can click Review Grant Requests and continue to move this grant through the steps. If you decide that you've made this an error and you'd like to delete it, you can click Delete here. Or if you need to edit, you can click Edit and get back in and edit some of the information that you previously entered. If you would like to add an additional grant request to another organization or another grant to the same organization for another purpose, you can click Create your grant request again and go through those steps. But for today, I'm only going to make one grant. So let me review it just to be sure everything looks exactly as I would like. And when I'm ready, I will click Submit Grant Requests. Please note, if you do not click Submit Grant Request, something will remain in your cart. You'll see this little parenthetical number, which will show there's something that still needs to be submitted. And if you leave it in your cart and you log out of the system or go away from your computer for a while, our system will automatically send you an email to remind you, hey, there's in your cart that has yet to be submitted for approval. So just because you've gotten to this stage doesn't mean it's done. Go ahead and click Submit. And there we are, grant request submitted. You can continue to, if you wish, to add another grant request or something else within your system. Oh, and I saw on my other screen an email popped up in my inbox that said a grant request has been submitted. So the Community Foundation staff will get an alert that you've made that recommendation and will take the steps to process and get it approved and get that check out the door as soon as possible. We mentioned recurring grants. If you need to see more details about the history of your recurring grants, you can see one here that has this additional line, quarterly recurring starts 2025, April 1st of 2025 here, but you can also go back to distributions and click recurring grants. And this will show all of the recurring grants from your fund, both those that are active and those that are closed from the past. If you click on the little ID, you will see even more information about that recurring grant. And this is where, if you choose to edit it, for instance, if you would like to only have it go a few more times, if you want it to end in a few months, you can change those things. Or if you just wish to cancel it, you can cancel it entirely by clicking that button. Oh, and it is gone. It will not make grants anymore from your fund. So this is a basic overview of how to utilize the My Funds, the fund management section of CFNIL's online portal. As always, if you have any questions, you can reach out to us, either to your staff contact as you see their name and contact information on the summary page of your fund, or honestly, anyone on our team would be happy to help you or get you to the person that would be best able to answer your question. In future videos, we will include information about how to navigate the My Donations section and other sections that are available to you in the portal based on your relationship to the Community Foundation. But for now, I hope you will find the portal particularly useful and increase your charitable impact and help you deepen your relationship with the Community Foundation of Northern Illinois. Thank you. Have a good day.